Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kim SANTOS if you're new, and also if you're new, hit the subscribe button. So today's video on my channel is a makeup tutorial, but I'm going to be showing you my tips and tricks on how I cream contour in my makeup routine. Cream contour is one of those things that you either love it or you absolutely hate it. Really, cream contour can look so beautiful done right, or once you get used to it and you practice it a lot, it can look great. Or, if we're gonna be honest here, it can look like you grabbed some pig shit and smeared it all over the side of your face. Not cute. I've been there, done that. Many times. Even sometimes if I'm not really paying attention, still happens. So in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how not to do that and how to easily contour with some of my favorite products. So enough of that introduction, let's get into the cream contouring now. So before we get into the actual contour stuff, the one piece of advice I can give you that's going to help make cream contouring easier is using a creamy foundation. So what I mean by this is when you're doing cream contour, you want to layer it on top of something that's going to give it movement, that's going to make it easier to blend and it won't tug on it. So let's say you're into powder foundations and then you're about to cream contour. It's probably not going to go very smooth just because that powder is going to be underneath the cream contour. So once you put that on, it might look patchy, muddy, and it won't let it glide smoothly because the powder is going to be like friction underneath stopping it. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Just this piece of advice I'm giving you is use a foundation that is creamier, potentially a liquid. You can use stick foundations too that glide easily. Something that is going to work with the cream contour as well. When you layer makeup, you always want to do creams and then powders first, and then maybe a mist if it looks a little too powdery. So the foundation I already have on my face is my L'Oreal Pro Glow. It's a drugstore foundation. I absolutely love it. My skin tends to be on the drier side, so I love using this as an overall base. It makes my skin feel good, and I know my cream contour is going to go on well when I have this one underneath. Okay, so moving on to the cream contour products. So cream contour can be done with like a palette, or it can be in like a stick form. I don't think there's any other forms it comes in, but those are the two that I know and I use. So the first product I absolutely love, it's from the drugstore. It is my favorite thing to cream contour with. It is the Catrice Prime and Fine Contouring Duo Stick. So this has two ends. It has the contour side, and then on the bottom, we're gonna put the cap on, it has the highlighting side. I don't really use the highlighting side of this product very often. This blends out amazingly and the color is perfect for my skin tone. I don't think they have a large shade range for these contour sticks. There might be one that's a little bit deeper or one that's a little bit lighter. They could definitely improve on shade range because these are great and they're drugstore. The other cream contour product I'm going to show you is the Cover FX Contour Palette. So this comes with 4 shades. It comes with like a cream highlight, but like a shiny highlight, and then just a regular highlight shade that you would put underneath your eyes, and then 2 cream contours. This contour kit works well, but I always find myself grabbing the contour stick more. So now I've showed you the cream contour products that I like to use. We are going to get into this cream contour, so I'm going to zoom you in, and you can look at the side of my face, and let's do this. The first tip I can give you to cream contouring is when you're about to lay down the cream, make sure it's a thin line to start. You don't want to go in with a really thick line first. You want to like kind of build it up. If you see that the contour is not as noticeable as you'd like it, add product gradually, but first always start off thin, especially with cream contours, because once you go in and blend it, it's going to expand out and it's going to cover more of your face. I like to take it down. This is the farthest I will take it down. I like to take my contour just a little bit towards the middle of my eye. And then now I'm gonna go in with jawline. I'm just building that right there. The jawline, I tend to make it thicker just because you're not gonna see it as much, just because it's kind of underneath your chin. As well, I like to go underneath the lip because this gives it a shadow underneath the lip and will make your lip look bigger. And then now we go to the forehead. So when you go to the forehead, I always like to go up towards my hairline. I like to bring it down to my temples because it just gives a better balance. Do little baby strokes around the whole head, like that. Like I have stitches. Like I'm Frankenstein. So now the tool that we're going to use is a beauty blender. When I cream contour, I always like to use a beauty blender just because I feel like a brush sometimes can leave it streaky. And this is gonna sound weird, but I like that the beauty blender absorbs more makeup. And by using the beauty blender, it's going to blend out the contour more effortlessly. if I can say that. It'll blend out easier because it's absorbing more of that product and you're not gonna have harsh lines or streaks as you would with a brush. So we're gonna start blending. What I like to do is bring it to like an angle. I wanna swipe and bounce the contour back into my hairline because when you're contouring, you're kind of trying to push everything back. You like how I did the movement there? You're just trying to push everything back and make everything highlighted come forward. So that's kind of the movement we're gonna be going into. So this contour color just completely blends out. Like, do you see how it was harsher and now it's kind of getting softer? You can make that fish face if you want to, if you're into that. Now we're blending out the jaw. So I kind of blend that up into my lip. I don't want to blend it down because it's going to go to my chin and it's going to emphasize that. I always like to blend up when I'm doing the underneath lip contour, because then later if you have contour on your lips, you can cover it with lipstick. Kind of like to bring it to the corners too. So it just kind of gives it like a big shadow and makes my little lips look just a little bit bigger. Even though small lips are amazing and you don't need lip injections or to make your lips look bigger to be beautiful or to have really good makeup. Not to say that big lips aren't beautiful either. What you have currently is beautiful. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. So I'm just blending this to the side and down. I'm making such the most flattering faces. I have a zit right here. It's a monster zit. Please ignore that. We all get them. Take it and blend it up into the hair. Also, when you're contouring, you always want to have a shade that's cool tone but not too ashy. I'm gonna go down to your level and we're gonna blend out the forehead contour. So we're gonna get rid of that Frankenstein stitches, and I just like to blend it back into my hairline, and I just like to swipe it back. I know there's more extreme contouring routines out here, but I feel like this just works for me. And it works quickly because cream contouring can take a long time. So now contouring the nose. I like to take like a little small angle brush or any small brush, something that's going to put the contour precisely in the areas that you want your nose contour to be. So I'm just gonna take the end of my really dirty contour stick and I dip that into the angle or onto the brush. So what I like to do is I like to go with this little line on the sides of my nose and really place it right there. If I need to, I'll go back with more product, and then I like to go and make a little line on the nose. And also, if you're feeling really adventurous, you can go up a little bit higher to the brow bone, that area where your eye socket and your nose start to meet. So now that I've placed down like the nose contour, I want to use a small little fluffy brush. It's small, but it's still dense. I try not to use my beauty blender when I blend out nose contour because you don't have as much control as you would with this small brush. It can get like messy and go everywhere, especially because it's in small detailed areas of your face. This is just gonna help it keep it nice, clean, and precise. So now we're gonna start to blend it up. Just don't want no harsh lines. Just blending the other side. I kind of made a boo-boo here, but that's easy to blend. So these are the major areas of my face that I like to contour. The next step for me after I've contoured my face is to highlight. I'll go back and highlight with this cream over here from the Cover FX kit, and I'll put that like underneath the eyes, in the center of the nose, above my lip, and as well the high points and underneath the jawline. Take this underneath. You can use concealer with this. I just have the palette, so I use the palette. Also, just to know, I already concealed my face with the Tarte Shape Tape concealer. I just like to do this just to like kind of clean up any areas. I like to go on the middle of my chin, center of my forehead like I said. I like to do this above my lip and also underneath the contour that we put here, where we put the contour on top and the contour on the bottom. This is gonna really help define the contour we placed before. And lastly, I like to highlight my nose. So what I'll do is quickly just do a little line and then a dot at the tip so that it looks like an exclamation point. So I'll just highlight in those areas. I have friends. So now once again, I'm gonna go back in and blend out those highlighted points with the Beauty Blender. So I'm just gonna start underneath my eyes. Try not to ruin my makeup. So also, I like to go back in with a smaller brush when I blend out the middle of my nose contour because we want it to be more clean and precise, like I said before. This next step is optional. I like to do it just because I know my makeup's gonna last longer. You could argue that this is kind of pointless. What I like to do after I cream contour and I've highlighted is I like to go back and go with an actual powder contour and set those areas where I've contoured my face. I also like to set the places where I highlighted with a translucent powder, just because when you powder over a cream, the chances of that cream staying on longer is going to increase. So the powder contour I'm going to be using is this pan right here, my Marc Jacobs Instamark filter in the Mirage filter. It's beaten up, but I love it. It has some lash glue in the pan because I'm messy. I like to just quickly go into these areas where I contoured, especially near the jawline. Go onto the jaw and also the forehead quickly. So what I'm going to do is lightly set the highlighted areas that I feel like I'm going to get oily on. So my nose, a little bit underneath in the center of the cheek, on the forehead, chin. And then also I'm going to bake underneath the contour. I'm going to let this sit right here and I'm going to build a line. I don't really like to bake underneath my eyes because I feel like it can get dry over there. I just kind of like to press it into my skin. Now we're going to bake underneath where the contour was. So while I let my contour bake for like a couple minutes, I'm just gonna go put some blush, highlight on the high points on my cheek, and lipstick just to finish my overall makeup look. And then I'll come back, take off this powder, and then do the final step. So I'm back, I kind of did my highlight, just a little bit, put some blush, and my lipstick on. I'm just gonna grab a clean, fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna brush off the powder I have, aka my little Santa Claus beard. I'm just gonna take that away from our face. So once I've dusted off all the powder, I'm gonna go in with a setting spray or any kind of makeup spray at all. This doesn't have to be like a setting spray, like the final spray in your whole makeup routine. I'm just gonna go in with Fix Plus because all these powders I put on my face on top of the cream, sometimes your skin can look cakey and dry. So I always like to do this at the end of any makeup routine. I don't know why, but this just reminds me of childhood. And that might be a little concerning. And it smells really good. The spray is just gonna help melt all the powders and creams together and make your skin look like skin and not very thick, powdery makeup. I feel like that step always makes my makeup look good at the end. I really love to cream contour. I know it can sometimes be tedious and it's just an extra step, but I feel like my makeup and my skin always turns out extra good that day. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel if you like makeup videos, tutorials, and other fun videos. And like always guys, remember, sub it if you love it. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Do not tell me my earring was unclipped the whole time. I want to be in the center, but I don't know how to sit on a chair apparently. You know what I got for Christmas this year? Zits. This gloss is gonna suck when I have to go outside and it's gonna be windy and my lips are gonna look like this. Hair on them.